In this age of equality, an ugly discrimination still exists. Millions of men deal with this ugly truth on a daily basis. This evil, financial harassment is a scourge to our equality-seeking society, and it must be eradicated.
Okay. I'm not paying for them.
Okay, but I asked them to come and they said they will come with us, and I said...
You asked them to come, not me.
Okay, but I asked them to come and I said my man got money. Like,
okay, I got money, but I'm not paying for your friends. They are not my friends.
Okay, but now I look like a liar. I look like I'm lying.
That's not my fault though.
I'm sorry, you're the only man at this table. Why are we doing separate checks? It's all women here.
I'm not responsible for paying everybody. I got the birthday girl.
But you invited everybody. You invited all of us.
I didn't invite you. Ernestine invited you. I'm responsible for who I brought.
Okay, you're the only man at the table.
Birthday, like you really just should have paid for all of our food.
For one, I'm not paying for everybody's food. It's your birthday, cool, but I'm not doing that. It's 18.
Why do you gotta pay for all y'all food?
I'm only paying for what's on the check. I'm not splitting the bill, shawty. That's crazy. You expect us to split the bill?
You got lamb chop, you got steak, you got some other...
Look at all that. Look at what all they got. And they talking about splitting the bill.
What did you come out for? What did you come out for?
We come together and split the bill.
I think we're past time to have a serious conversation about financial harassment against men. In today's society where young ladies can be free to be with as many men as they like before marriage, and even before they get married, tell the man they're going to marry he has no business asking about her body count. And at work, she can sue a company if the man she's sitting next to is making any more money than she is. How is it that when we start dating, all of a sudden everything goes back to the traditions? And if you ask most guys, they don't have problems being traditional if the woman is traditional or close to it. But if she's only going to be traditional when she wants something, then that means that guys acting in good faith just get burned. It's just open season, or should I say financial harassment open season.
I hate pick-me's. Is you pick-me assholes messing up the game. Watch this.
Hoes are out here it up for the regular women. Can y'all stop asking these men for money within the first 60 to 90 days? Like, men are all so on guard right now. Like, what do you need my money? What do you want? Because women, transactional whores, will y'all slow down for a second? Y'all got these men scared to date. We don't want your money. If a woman is asking you for money in the first 60 to 90 days, she doesn't like you. There is nothing I need from a man in the first 60 to 90 days of meeting him.
The dating game. Every woman I posted is a pick-me. I'm teaching women not to go through that.
It would seem to me what the first young lady said was pretty spot on. In today's modern environment, if you meet a guy, the last thing you should be doing is asking him for money and saying that that's your job as a traditional man. But that's a pick-me? I mean, that's wild. It's essentially saying you're supposed to pull out your wallet because you're a man. I mean, financial harassment is so prevalent that the idea that you're telling a man that you just met to give you money doesn't even raise eyebrows. It's just seen as normal.
I'm teaching women not to go through that. And you telling women to go through that. You are a pick-me. Within 60 to 90 days, we shouldn't ask nobody for nothing and they shouldn't be doing nothing for us, right? But then 60 to 90 minutes, they should be able to ask us for punani. You pick-me's is giving up y'all punani in 60 to 90 minutes and y'all just met this man.
First, I'll say as a man, there's nothing romantic about this. This is very transactional. And if it's going to be transactional, then guys are going to be transactional. That's just the way men are going to evolve with that. But if you're going to tell a man that he's supposed to give you money just because you're a woman, I can understand guys saying, I don't want to do that and walking away. But when you shame him for not doing it because he's a man, that, by definition, is financial harassment.
So you want us to wait 60 to 90 days to get anything from a nigga? Are you mad? That nigga gonna pay up the first date. How about that? Because that nigga is ciphering my energy. He's taking up all my time. You're gonna pay up.
Every 69 seconds, a man somewhere is being shamed to give money to a woman that is not his wife, a woman that very likely is sexually active with other men. A woman that has no other plans for you other than the money she can extract. For $1 a day, you can save yourself $30 a month and let these chicks get their own Uber Eats.
And understand pressure ain't always welcome, baby. You better make sure they like you first, because pressure can quickly turn into harassment.
I kept telling her, no, I don't want to buy your friends a drink too. But she just kept asking over and over and over again. She wasn't going to give up. I just wanted to get it over with. So, you bought her the drinks? Yeah. Oh, that's coercion. She financially harassed you. I know, but they gonna believe me, man. Have you heard from her since? Nah, man. I just need to help.
My booty is mine. It belongs to me. You cannot take my booty.
It's not rocket science to define the word booty. It's the posterior muscle that is the gluteus maximus, if you will, or better said by someone that's more succinct and to the point.
Ooh, that's junk in the trunk. That's what you put your mug on, you saddle up and ride.
The older, late Middle English definition of booty, however, is valuable stolen goods, especially those seized in war, or informally, something gained or won. One thing that's very alarming to me, it's actually a motivation for me to make videos, because I hope that at least some of my videos can reach younger guys, is that there's so much content of black men particularly telling other black men how to be a man, and 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, they involve the fact that he needs to have money and spend it on people that are not himself.
I want that booty, Tom.
You can't have my booty.
Oh, yeah, I can.
And I don't know if that's a very healthy way of looking at it, because I don't really see anything in the other direction saying in order to be a real woman or to be a real mate to your husband, you're supposed to do this for him. And so, of course, that's alarming, but in this kind of environment where essentially you're expected to welcome financial harassment as a man, instead of thinking about something that I think is very important, and that's simply, it's okay to be stingy and make your own decisions about the money that you earned. If you wake up tomorrow and you can't work, there's not going to be anyone else that's going to wake up and say, I'll go to work for you, but I'm going to put the money in your hand and then I'm going to tell you how to spend it. They're just going to call you broke and you're dusty. But when you do your own work and you get your own money, many of us deal with the idea that maybe we don't deserve the money that we earned, and so we should spend it on other people, i.e. women. But there's one lesson we could learn in the face of all of this financial, I would use the A word, but I'll just say financial harassment, is that
the booty is mine. It belongs to me. You cannot take my booty. Ah!
The reality is, and I say this, I think men should pay for everything when they're on a date, even if they're not economically less well off than the woman, because the bottom line is, and you reference this, men get more from relationships than women. And so if you're asking a woman to engage in the possibility of a relationship, and also the downside of sex is much greater for a woman, much greater risks involved in sex, that quite frankly, one way you show that you are willing to level up and recognize the investment in the skewed advantage towards you of entering into a relationship that widowers are happier than they were when they were married. Widowers are less happy. I mean, there's just a lot of data showing that marriage is better for the man than it is for the woman.
When Scott Galloway says that there's less downside for men in sex than there is for women, it sounds like a talking point from like a different century. Because if there was nothing in it for women, you would not see women on a nightly basis, first of all, half naked on cameras all over Instagram, one, but two, on the internet saying, where are the men? They will obviously want men for something. And if you've ever raised a child, you know that 20 years is a long time to provision resources. So if a young lady wants someone to provision resources, a baby is a good way to do it. So there's that part of it. But the other part of it is simply this idea that guys are supposed to pay because guys are supposed to pay. That's great 60 years ago. But if you're paying for a young lady who has an OF account and she was with a different guy last night and she just wants to use you and your old thinking so that she can squeeze some resources out the latest sucker, then that's not what being traditional is.
So if you're going to ask a woman to potentially enter into that type of relationship, I think from the get-go, you have an obligation to show you're really committed and serious And one easy way to do this, and this sounds really crass, and I teach my boys this, you always pay.
Yeah.
I just think that's, and I know that sounds tribal and primitive, but and my son came back, my 17-year-old boy said, Dad, that's so primitive. And I'm like, do you ever maybe potentially want to kiss this girl or have her agree to kiss you? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, then pay for everything.
Again, it sounds great, but his son is most likely around young ladies that are doing some very liberal activities. I guess that's the right way to use liberal. They're enjoying themselves. I guess that's the best way to put it. So if he's trying to be traditional, then they can see him as a sucker and say, oh, I can get a free dinner out of this guy. I can get this guy to fix my car for me. But then I'm going to go and be with the guy that I was last week, or whatever she does when she's not with him. And for guys that are trying to go into relationships with traditional values with modern women, you're just getting set up for getting taken. Now, I would say for guys going overseas, yeah, sure, you can pay, because you are in a position where those young ladies were not raised sitting next to you in a class where feminism was balancing the opportunities, if you will. But if you're in the West, in America, and she went to college sitting right next to you, or she was sitting right next to you in high school, like, what are the rules for that? Because if you're telling the guy that he has to pay just because he was born a certain way, how's that any different than the feminism saying that women are supposed to be beneath men because they're women? It's the same thing. It's not sexual harassment. It's financial harassment. You're a man, you're supposed to pay. Now, do men want to pay? Sure they do. But you're telling a guy he's supposed to pay because he's a man, and it's an environment where young ladies are looking for suckers actively? They're asking for money on the first date. They're taking money and clothes and food home to their kids from other men on a first date. That is no environment for men to be traditional. My money is mine. It belongs to me. You cannot have my money. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.